What's going on, guys? It's Nance here. We're back with another video, and today we're here with the Tier Maker website, and we've got a list here ranked from 88 overall all the way down to gold. And right underneath that, we've got every Madden 22 core elite card for running backs and quarterbacks. I've also thrown in some golds here. These are guys that I think are going to be elites in Madden 23. So basically what this video is, it's going to be predictions for what I think where these players are going to land for Madden 23. Now, like I said before, this is only running backs and quarterbacks. We will do receivers and tight ends in our next video, and then if those two videos do well enough, we will do the defense as well. So let's jump right into this. If you guys enjoy this content, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. So first core elite that I'm gonna go with, I'm picking Baker Mayfield because I am a Cleveland Browns fan and I hate this guy so damn much, and I want to throw this guy in gold so bad. Baker Mayfield is easily going to be a probably mid to low 70s. He should be a silver. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting angry right now. Baker Mayfield is going to be a gold without a doubt, probably a higher gold. Get it off season. Next one here is 83 overall, Aaron Jones for the Green Bay Packers. He had kind of a down year. I still think he's going to be a really good player, but he split a lot of snaps with AJ Dillon last year, and his stats dropped off a lot. I see him going into an 82. Next, staying in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had his stats were a little bit lower than what they were in 2020, but I still think he had a really good year. I don't think they have enough stats here to downgrade this guy. I like him at an 86 again. Next is Austin Eckler. This dude was a 79 starting off in Madden 22. And honestly, I think he should have been a core elite starting off in Madden 22, but he was a gold, and he's definitely going to be an elite this year, no doubt about it. This dude had a great year rushing, actually got to stay healthy for once, and he did really well. This is probably one of the best seasons that Eckler had. I think he's going to be, I don't think he'll be a low 80. I do think he'll probably be around like that 82, 83 range. I guess that is pretty low, but I'm going to throw him at an 83. Next is this 84 overall Saquon Barkley. I personally think Saquon Barkley is very overrated. He hasn't been healthy for very long, and I don't know. He did produce a little bit last year, but he did not do much at all. I really think ever since that ACL tear, he's never going to be himself again. But Madden loves some Saquon Barkley, so I do think he'll remain an elite, but I do think he's going to go down a little bit. I'm going to say Saquon Barkley is going to go down to an 82. Next is the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. He was an 87 overall last year, and he is coming back. He did announce his retirement, but he is going to come back. This dude led the league in passing last year by 300 yards. Unbelievable. I do think this is going to be Tom Brady's last year, and I think he is well deserving of that 88 overall card. He should have got that last year, but yeah, Tom Brady, he's going to be an 88 next year. This is Joe Burrow, another guy that started out as a gold last year. I do think he's going to go core elite this year. Joe Burrow is on the right track. Joe Burrow led the Bengals to a Super Bowl this year, and I do think he's going to get better and better. Joe Burrow is definitely going to be upgraded this year, but I don't think he's going to get anything too crazy. I think the year after that, Madden 24, he will be probably a mid to high 80s quarterback, but this year I think he's going to be an 82. Next is Derek Carr. Derek Carr is one of those underrated quarterbacks in my opinion, and he was a 79 last year. He had a pretty good year last year. I think Derek Carr is going to be at an 80. Next is Chris Carson. Chris Carson was at an 82 overall. This is one of those guys that's been tarnished by injuries and hasn't really had a full season of healthiness in a while. I do think he's going to get downgraded though. I would see Chris Carson, I'm thinking he's going to be probably at an 80 overall. Next is Christian McCaffrey. He was at an 87 overall. I don't know. He didn't really play very much in the 2020 season, and they still gave him an 87 overall. Obviously, this year he did not play much at all. I do think he's going to get a downgrade simply because he hasn't played much. Let's see. I'm thinking Christian McCaffrey, I think he'll go down to an 85. Next is James Conner, and as you can see, this is not his gold card. But yeah, I couldn't find a picture of it for whatever reason. But this is his 89 overall card. He was not an 89. He was probably, I think it was a high 70s card. But James Conner, I think, will go core elite. This last season, he had a really good season, especially once Chase Edmonds went down. He really took over, and he was the #1 running back in Arizona, and he did a great job. I think he's going to go up to an 81. Next is Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott in 2020 did not play very much due to that gruesome injury that he had, and he was out for the remainder of that season. But I'll tell you what, this guy came back and he did work. He was an absolute beast. I think he recovered very well and came back and did a really good job. I think this year he's going to be very good. I think Dak Prescott is going to improve in Madden 23, and I see him at an 84 overall. Next is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook had a pretty good season in 2020. 2021 season, his stats kind of dropped off a little bit. I feel like he was infected with injuries a little bit, but yeah, he had kind of an off year. I don't see them downgrading him too much though, but I do think he's going to get downgraded to at least an 84, maybe even an 83, honestly. But it's Dalvin Cook. People that play Madden love Dalvin Cook, so I think 84 is definitely logical. Is David Montgomery. David Montgomery, another one of those guys that had a really good 2020 season. Honestly, he had a really good ending to 2020. And this year, he didn't really do too much. And he did get hurt, but I do think he's going to get downgraded to a gold. Next is one of the 88s from Madden 22, and that's Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry only played up until I want to say it was week 8. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he did get injured and he did not play the second half of the seasons, but he was on track to have one of the greatest seasons of all time, and I still think Derrick Henry is easily going to be an 88. Next is Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert was a gold last year, believe it or not. I think he definitely should have started out as a elite, probably like an 80 overall or something like that, but season that he had last year, he's definitely going to get that boost up to a core elite. He was second in passing yards, and he definitely had an MVP caliber season. I want to see Justin Herbert upgraded. I want to see him at an 85 this year. Next is Josh Jacobs. Honestly, I don't even think he's worthy of an 83. He did not have a good year last year, honestly, but he is splitting a lot of time with other running backs. But Josh Jacobs, I just don't think he is 83 worthy anymore, but I do think he will still be an elite. I see Josh Jacobs at an 80. Next is James Robinson. This is his 94 overall card. I couldn't find his gold card, but another decent year for James Robinson. He started out the year really, really hot. I do think this year he's going to be kind of irrelevant because they're going to be using Travis Etienne a lot unless he gets traded. But I just feel like James Robinson's workload is going to drop off a lot this year, but that really doesn't matter for his ratings. But honestly, I think he's probably going to be at an 81. That's what he started at last year, and I do think he's going to stay at 81. Next is Joe Mixon, one of the most improved running backs for the Cincinnati Bengals. This dude had an awesome season this last year, and I believe, it doesn't say on this card here, but he was like a low 80, 81, I think he was. But anyways, 2020 season, he was hurt. Didn't really get to play too much, but he came back this year and he had a pretty healthy season. Battled a little bit of injuries, but he played really, really well for the Bengals, and I think he needs a nice little upgrade. I see Joe Mixon at an 85. Next is a big one here, Jonathan Taylor. He was an 80 overall last year, and he ended the season as probably the best running back in the league. Dude almost got 2,000 yards rushing, and he's definitely the #1 option for fantasy. This dude is definitely the workhorse for the Indianapolis Colts, and I definitely think he is at least top 3 running back right now. A lot of people are going to say that he should be an 88, but I'm going to go 87. Reason why I say 87 is because I noticed the 88s, those are the people that get the 99 club, right? People that are 99s and 88s in Ultimate Team, those are the guys that have been doing it for a while. You notice that. Derrick Henry, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Donald, those guys have been doing this for a while. Jonathan Taylor, he had a pretty good 2020 season, but 2021, is when he really went off. And if he does anything close to that again, then I could see him going to 88. But I think Jonathan Taylor would be nice at an 87. Next is Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. For Madden 22, I thought 83 was a little low. Honestly, I thought maybe he would have been at like an 85 or something like that. Looking at his 2021 stats, his stats went down just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I want to see Josh Allen at an 84 overall. Next is New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara. Last year, he was an 84 overall. I think he is going to go down a little bit this year. He had an off season. I really think it has a lot to do with Drew Brees going away. He didn't really have a quarterback to throw him to the ball because we all know Alvin Kamara is a little bit more of a receiving back, and he struggled last year. So I think he's going to go down a little bit. I see Alvin Kamara at an 82. Is Cleveland Browns backup running back Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt had a lot of injuries this last year. He didn't play too much. Didn't play too much at all, to be honest with you, but I do think Kareem Hunt will keep that 80 overall. Next is Kyle Juszczyk. This is his Team of the Year card. I couldn't find his correlate, but he was an 84, and I think he's going to stay at 84. It's hard to say with stats for fullbacks, but he's definitely the best fullback in the league, and he's very proactive at that position, and he does it very well. So I think he's well deserving of an 84. Next is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was an 80 in Madden 22, and in my opinion, I thought this was a little low. His last season was kind of an off season for him compared to 2020. But I think Kyler Murray should be higher than an 80. But since he had kind of a down year, I think Madden will probably put him at like an 81 or an 80, honestly. Next is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was an 83 overall. His season stats were pretty similar to what the 2020 season was. They're lower, but not by a whole lot. I like him at an 83 once again. Next is Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette was an 80 overall in Madden 22. And this year, I think he improved a lot. He was kind of a quiet improvement, but he definitely got better. He had a lot of receiving yards, and I think he's really starting to find his place in Tampa Bay. And I can see Leonard Fournette improving a little bit. He was an 80 overall last year, and his stats improved. I see him at an 81. Next is the newest Indianapolis Colts quarterback, Matt Ryan. He was at an 80 overall last year. I like him at an 80 again. Next is Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon, he surprisingly had a pretty good season. If you look at his 2020 stats, they're very similar to what they were this year, especially with him splitting snaps with Javonte Williams much more this year, which I do think his stats are going to go down a lot this year because of that scenario. But if we're judging off his 2021 season, I think he will stay at an 80 overall. This is Najee Harris. This is his rookie premier card at an 86. He was a high 77 overall or something like that beginning of 22. And this dude is going to be an absolute monster. He's probably one of the best running backs in the league already as a rookie. This is coming into his second year. He's going to be a beast. He rushed for over 1,000 yards. I'd like to see Najee Harris. This is tough. I can see him at an 83. I could also see him at an 84. But since it's his second year, I think they're going to put him at an 83. Next is Cleveland Browns running back Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, in my opinion, is one of the best running backs in the league. Easily. He's very consistent. The only issue is sometimes he gets injured, and that kind of sucks. We look at his stats, and his yards did go up by a little bit, but I just don't think it's enough for him to get any kind of upgrade. So I can see him at an 86 overall once again. Next is one of the 88 overalls, and that is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, he had kind of an off year this year. He had a really bad start, but things started to improve, and overall, he still had a really, really good season. I think the problem with Patrick Mahomes is we got so comfortable with seeing this dude put up unreal numbers every single week. And if he threw anything less than 2 touchdowns, we considered it a bad game. But I do think he's going to get a bit of a downgrade. I think Patrick Mahomes will be at an 87. Next is Atlanta Falcons running back Cordell Patterson. I'm really glad that this guy was able to find his team and find his stride in the NFL. He came out as one of the best running backs in the league last year, and he's a really good receiving back as well. I think he did really, really good, and I see him going at a core elite this year. I think Cordell Patterson will be at an 82. Next is Madden 22 Raheem Mostert. He was at an 81 overall. This is a really, really popular card at the beginning of the season, simply because of the dude's speed. He's really, really fast. But this dude hasn't really played much the last 2 years, and I don't think he's going to remain an elite. I think he will be a gold, but I will say this. He's probably going to be a nice little budget card for you guys because his speed, I'm sure, will still be up really high. Next is Ryan Tannehill for the Tennessee Titans. He was at an 82. I think he's going to go down. He kind of had a bad year. He doubled his interceptions. I still think he'll be an elite, but I think Ryan Tannehill is going to go down to an 80. Next is the Super Bowl champion himself, Matthew Stafford on the LA Rams. I'm so happy for this dude that he's able to get put on a team and actually show what he's really made of. In the first year he got out of Detroit, he won a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford is definitely going to improve for sure. I think Matt Stafford's, I could see him at an 85, but I'll play it safe here. I think Stafford will be an 84. Is DeAndre Swift. Obviously, he was not a 95. He was a 79, I believe. I think he should have been a core elite beginning of Madden 22, but I think he's definitely going to get that core elite status as he is pretty much the #1 guy in Detroit and really good running back, honestly. I think DeAndre Swift will be an 82. Next is Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. He was at an 84. This might be his only card that he got last year. Obviously, as we all know, he did not play last year. So with that being said, I think he's going to be downgraded. I think Deshaun Watson will be at an 82. And now that I'm looking at this list, I don't think Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson will be on the same level. So I'm going to bump Joe Burrow up. Joe Burrow, I think, will be at an 83. Next is Russell Wilson. He was at an 85 overall, coming off a really good 2020 season. He threw for like 40 touchdowns or something crazy. And then last year, he split that in half. His production was okay last year, but it just wasn't as good. So with that being said, I think he will get a downgrade as a Denver Bronco. I think he'll be an 83. And then last but not least is Ezekiel Elliott. I do think this guy is on the second half of his career, and he is definitely on the downfall. His reps have gone down a lot. His stats have gone down a lot. I don't think Zeke is what he once was, but I still think he's going to be an elite. But I do think he's going to go down. I see Zeke at an 80 overall. This is my tier list for the running backs and quarterbacks. These are my overall predictions for Madden 23. Let me know if you guys think that I should switch these around at all. What would you guys put? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys want to look at this tier list, it is on this website. If you go to tiermaker.com and search Madden 23 tier list, it should be in there, and you should be able to do this on your own. And also, I threw this together all by myself, and I might have missed some players. I think I missed like a couple fullbacks and stuff like that, but let me know in the comments if I missed anybody, and if I did, let me know. I will go ahead and let you know what I think their rating will be. But that's it for this video, guys. Wide receivers and tight ends will be coming up next, and then we'll go to defense after that. Go like on the video if you guys enjoyed it. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.